The Three Little Pigs, Bedtime Story Narration. Once upon a time, in a quiet and sunny meadow, there lived three little pigs who were the best of friends and the closest of siblings. Their names were Pip, Poppy, and Pax. One bright morning, the three little pigs decided it was time to leave their cozy home and set out into the wide, wonderful world to build houses of their very own. They hugged each other tightly, packed their little bags, and skipped happily down the path, ready for their next big adventure. Pip, the youngest and silliest of the three, found a golden field filled with soft, fluffy straw. "I'll build my house here," Pip giggled. "It will be quick and easy, and then I can play all day." So Pip gathered armfuls of straw and built a sweet little house in no time at all. He was so proud, and he danced around it with joy. Poppy, the middle pig, wandered into a shady woodland where tall trees had left plenty of sticks scattered on the ground. "I'll build my house from sticks," she smiled. "It will be strong and snug." Poppy carefully tied the sticks together, weaving them neatly until she had a lovely wooden house. She dusted off her hands and gave a happy sigh. Pax, the oldest and wisest pig, walked all the way to a quiet grassy clearing where he found piles of smooth, sturdy bricks. "I'll build my house with bricks," Pax decided kindly. "It will take a little longer, but it will be safe and strong." Day by day, Pax worked hard, carefully stacking the bricks until he built a tall, strong house that made him smile with pride. But nearby, in the deep green woods, there lived a mischievous wolf named Wally. Wally wasn't a mean wolf, but he did love a bit of silly fun. He had heard about the three little pigs and was curious to see the houses they had built. One breezy afternoon, Wally padded softly up to Pip's house of straw. In a friendly sing-song voice, he called, little pig, may I come in?" But Pip, remembering that wolves can sometimes be tricky, called back cheerfully, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." Wally chuckled and said with a wink, "Then I'll puff and I'll huff and I'll blow your house in." With a big, silly breath, whoosh, the straw house flew apart like fluffy feathers in the wind. Pip squealed with laughter and dashed off to Poppy's stick house. Wally followed, still smiling and calling out playfully, little pigs, may I come in?" Poppy and Pip giggled together. "Not by the hair on our chinny chin chins." Wally puffed up his chest. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." With a twirl and a swirl, whoosh, the stick house tumbled down like a pile of twigs. Poppy and Pip laughed and ran together to Pax's brick house, where their big brother welcomed them warmly inside. When Wally arrived at the strong brick house, he called out kindly, little pigs, may I come in?" And together, the three little pigs replied with happy grins, "Not by the hair on our chinny chin chins." Wally chuckled and gave one last big breath. Whoosh! But the sturdy brick house didn't move an inch. He puffed and he puffed again, but it stood strong and safe. Tired and out of breath, Wally sat down on the soft grass and laughed. The three little pigs peeked out the window, smiled, and opened the door. "Wally," Pax said kindly, "why don't you come in for tea instead?" Wally's eyes lit up. "I'd like that very much," he said with a grin. From that day on, the three little pigs and Wally the Wolf became the best of friends. They shared stories, built wonderful things together, and always remembered the lessons they had learned. That with care, hard work, and kindness, and by sticking together, they could build something strong and special that would last forever. And as the sun set behind the hills, the pigs and Wally sat together, warm and safe, sipping tea and laughing softly under the twinkling stars. The end. Thanks for joining us at Storytales at Dawn. If today's tale stirred your heart or sparked your imagination, like, share, and subscribe to keep the stories flowing. And don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss a dawn of wonder. Until next time, may your mornings be magical and your dreams full of stories.